We're gonna check the refrigerant levels on this car. The air conditioner is on, but there's no cool air coming out of the vents. Remove the caps on the low and the high side. The test ports are gonna be two different sizes. On the gauges, make sure everything is in the closed position. The smaller blue port is the low side. We'll place it on, place the high side on. Hang up the gauges, open the low side and the high side. Keep the valves closed on the gauge, but we'll be able to read the pressures. We're at about 6 PSI on the gauges. The temperature is about 60 degrees right now. At rest, we should be at about 57 PSI, and obviously we're way low. We'll add in some refrigerant, screw the can onto the yellow hose, bring the valve all the way down. Once we have the can opened up, we want to remove all the air from the line all the way up to the gauge. We'll push on the traitor valve until we get the air out and we just have refrigerant in there. Open the low side on the gauge. We can watch the refrigerant go in and the gauge go up. We'll see the low side and the high side increase. Sometimes you can use your hand to kind of warm up the can to get a little more out. We'll take it up to 50. We didn't quite make it up to 50 before we ran out of refrigerant. We'll spin the lever up to turn off the can. Close the low side. We'll turn on the car and see if we're getting cold air. Feels cold, we'll put a temperature gauge on it. Right now we're running at about 52 degrees. The compressor gauge is kicked in, so that's a good sign. We'll add in some additional refrigerant. Open up the low side again. The compressor will cycle on. It'll go between 30 and 40 and then turn off and drop down. There, drop down. We're about 70 PSI on the high side. We're gonna try to get up to about 120. The temperature's down to about 44. At 65 degrees Fahrenheit, we should be between 25 and 35 PSI on the low side and 135 to 155 on the high side. We're at about 110 on the high side, about 130 on the low side. We're at about 40 degrees Fahrenheit at the gauge. Because we're at 60 degrees, not 65, we're pretty close. That's how I recharge a refrigerant system in a car.